Your top stories this hour. The ANC says campaigning will start on the party's anniversary celebrations early next year. Burundi turns down the African Union's proposed peacekeeping mission. And Tokyo Sexwale lobbies COSAFA to support his FIFA presidency bid. Good morning, it's 6 o'clock. Thank you for joining us here on eNCA live from Johannesburg. Now, ANC Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has revealed the ANC will officially kick off its local government election campaign in Rustenburg in the northwest next year. Electioneering will start with the ruling party's 104th birthday celebration rally. The process of relocating foreign nationals displaced by xenophobic violence in Durban earlier this year has stalled. More than 100 displaced foreigners have been staying on the farm of a KZN couple. The group is getting legal assistance, but they're divided over their relocation. A Tshwane Metro police officer has been arrested for soliciting bribes from motorists. The officer was allegedly caught on the notorious Molotto Road yesterday after seeking a 100 Rand bribe from an undercover officer. The National Anti-Corruption Unit say it's reviewing the details of the incident. The unit has been monitoring the conduct of officers on roads throughout the country. Still ahead here on eNCA, 3 South African writers are in the running for a prestigious International Literature Award. Your top stories at this hour. The Communication Workers Union is calling for Minister Faith Mutambi's removal. The UN Security Council approves a resolution outlining a peace process in Syria.
Those in favor.
And Liesl Lowry will be carrying South Africa's hopes at the Miss World Beauty Contest today. Good morning at 8 o'clock. This is eNCA live from Johannesburg. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, the Communication Workers Union is calling for Faith Mutambi's removal. The union accuses the Minister of Communications of incompetence. In a press briefing, the union said it did not understand why Mutambi has allowed SABC boss Claudia Motswaneng to keep his job. In October, the Supreme Court of Appeal found Motswaneng guilty of misconduct for lying about his qualifications and unilaterally increasing salaries. But an internal SABC inquiry has cleared Motswaneng of any wrongdoing. The union also lashed out at other TV channels, accusing them of a lack of transformation and poor employment practices. It's urging the ANC to act. Johannesburg streets are littered with rubbish again after refuse workers downed tools yesterday. Pick It Up has promised to make alternative arrangements to clean up the city. The Waste Management Agency says workers are striking illegally. Trade union SAMU has not yet explained what's led to the work stoppage. Last month, union members embarked on an illegal strike for weeks. They're demanding higher salaries, but have since returned to work after reaching an agreement with city management. Pick It Up is concerned that those who've chosen not to participate in the latest industrial action may be victimized. Now, still in Johannesburg, the city has welcomed a notch upgrade by global ratings agency Fitch. The agency has affirmed the city's national long-term rating and the national senior unsecured rating on outstanding bonds to AA from AA- and the national short-term rating at F1+ with a stable outlook. Johannesburg Mayor Park Starr says the upgrade is confirmation that the city is a safe and preferred destination for investment. Tao says the rating is also a reflection of the quality of the city's leadership and its ability to manage an annual budget of more than 50 billion rand. President Jacob Zuma says government has been working hard to relieve the effects of the widespread drought. Approximately 2.7 million households have been affected. The Northwest, KwaZulu-Natal, Free State, Limpopo and Mpumalanga have been declared as disaster areas. In a year-end statement, Zuma says government has invested more than 450 million rand in drought relief. The funds have been spent on motorized water tankers, borehole drilling and rehabilitation, as well as improving infrastructure. And 3,000 people are being trained as part of the country's War on Leaks program. IFP veteran Lionel Mtshali will be laid to rest today. Mtshali died last weekend after a short illness at the age of 80. President Jacob Zuma has ordered a special provincial official funeral for Mtshali, who was both a former Premier of KwaZulu-Natal and Minister of Arts and Culture. IFP leader Mangosuthu Buthelezi has described him as a loyal comrade. The funeral service will be held at the Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium in Claremont in Durban at 9. The United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously to adopt a draft resolution for a roadmap to peace in Syria. Millions have been killed in the country's civil war and hundreds of thousands have fled. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon says the accord provides a political path to resolve the crisis. He has urged the Syrian government and opposition parties to engage in talks. Now, the agreement has been hailed as a major step toward bringing peace to Syria. The US says the process is designed to end the nation's civil war and eventually provide a new government. Rwandans have voted in favor of extending President Paul Kagame's rule. The National Electoral Commission says 98% of voters support changing the constitution to allow him to run for a third 7-year term in 2017. The Commission says 21 out of 30 districts had published results of the Friday referendum. Others are expected later today. In October, the country's lower house of parliament backed the idea of a third term, despite international concerns. Kagame has been a leading figure in the country's politics since the end of the genocide in 1994. The 58-year-old is yet to publicly announce whether he will run again. Former Burundian President Pierre Buyoya says elements of genocide may already exist in the country. Hundreds of people have been killed in the escalating violence linked to President Pierre Nkurunziza's disputed third term. Buyoya's comments come as the African Union says it's ready to deploy 5,000 peacekeepers to protect civilians. But this plan still needs to be approved by the UN Security Council. There are growing concerns the instability could affect other countries in the region. A court has ruled that Royal Dutch Shell can be held liable for oil spills by its Nigerian subsidiary. The ruling overturned a finding by a lower Dutch court in 2013. This potentially opens the way for other compensation claims against the multinational. The legal dispute dates back to 2008 when 4 Nigerian farmers and campaign group Friends of the Earth filed a suit against the oil company at its global headquarters in the Netherlands. The case will continue in March next year. Ahead this morning, eNCA catches up with a South African actor who's traded the bright lights for a life of solitude.